Homish and Rashi, Parshas Eikev, the fourth reading. We're on page
1199.
1199 in the Chitas for chapter 10, number 1. L'chaim, I made a blessing already. L'chaim. Oh, David's coffee. Psh. Okay, verse number 1. Be'ez time, that time. At that time, Amar, Hashem said, Eli to me. Moshe speaking first person, right? Psal carve out for yourself, hew, if you will, for yourself. Shnei luchais, 2 tablets of vanim that are made from stone, kari shainim, like the first ones, right? Because he destroyed the first ones. Va'alei Eli, and they come up to me, Hahara, to the mountain. Vasisa lacha, and you should make for yourself Aaron 8, a wooden ark. Rashi, the Esahi. So Rashi is bothered by this term. We mean at that time. What is the emphasis of that time? At the end of 40 days, God was assented to me, and he said to me, carve for yourself at the end of 40 days.
That's right.
The first of the 40 days. That's what it means at that time. At that time, at the end of the period of the 40 days, as opposed to the beginning of the period of the 40 days.
Ask a question.
Go ahead.
Did Hashem say make an ark while he was on the mountain, Moshe? Was already up there? Make the ark, wooden ark.
Well, let's finish Rashi, and I think it'll address it. I think it will address it. Okay.
Why does it say that carve and then come to the mountain? So it was carved on the bottom of the mountain, and then 40 days. It's like, I don't understand.
That's right. Me too.
Yeah, actually, you're right. Because it says at the end of 40 days, so he was already on top of the mountain.
Yeah.
So what does it mean then?
Then come up to the mountain.
They make the wooden ark.
Let's see if Rashi will address it. Good question. Good question. Okay, let's see. Maybe Rashi will address. So he's saying that the words Beisa, he means at the end of the 40 days, which means he's already on top of the mountain, right? Then God said to him, Salucha, and afterwards, and afterwards to make the ark, the wooden ark for yourself. But I made the ark first, as we will see in a moment. For when I would come, the haluches biyadi, and the tablets would be in my hands. Where should I place them? This is not the Ark of the Covenant that was in the Holy of Holies.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, it's not the same, right? Because here it's saying a wooden ark, as opposed to it was wood with gold on the outside and gold on the inside, right? It was 3-layered, so it's not the same one. It's one just where to place the tablets.
This is packed for shipping.
Packed for shipping, right? Very good. Packed for shipping, exactly. So where would I place it? So I had to make the ark first. Oh, and then he says this. Okay, Rashi, this is not the ark that Betzalel made. Because we see they did not deal with the construction of the tabernacle until after Yom Kippur. Because when Moshe descended from the mountain, he commanded them about the work of the construction of the Mishkan, of the tabernacle. Betzalel also Mishkan Tchila. And Betzalel made the tabernacle first, but only afterwards did he make the Ar and the Kelim, the ark and the and all of the furnishings of the Mishkan. Nimtza, so it comes out. Ze Aron Acher Haya. This was a different ark. It's interesting how Rashi brings a different proof. He's not bringing up the proof I brought that it was made differently, right? He's bringing a proof of the fact that this was told to him on top of the mountain, and he commanded to make the ark only the third time he came down from the mountain on Yom Kippur to tell them that that they've been completely atoned and that they need to now make a tabernacle, a mishkan, a home for God. This one will go out with them for battle. Will go out for them battle. But I say also B'Talon, the one that B'Talon made did not go out for battle. Eli, except for the days of Eli, and then Sha'olav, and he was punished actually for it. The Nishban, it was captured because it should not have been gone out for. So Rashi wants to explain about this ark to make sure that we have a clear understanding that it's not the one that B'Tzalel made. Okay. The Eikev is ala luches, and I wrote on the luches. It's advarim asher hayu ala luches arishanim. The words that were on the first luches, asher shibarta, that you shattered. So this is God speaking to Moshe, right? God said to me, right? Verse number 1 said, at that time, God said to me, which time? At the end of the 40 days on top of the mountain, of the first time he's on the mountain. The second time he's on the mountain, because the first time was before breaking the first tablets, right? So God said, I'll inscribe on the tablets, as I did in the first ones, which you shattered, and Luchas Avishaynu, Asher Shibarta, Samta Ba'aron, and you shall place him in the Aron. Right?
Referring to both.
I didn't know that he carved both.
First and this one that he's going to make.
I thought Moses inscribed.
No, he said Asher Shibarta. You broke the first ones.
So where do you put those pieces? In the same Aron?
Good question. It wasn't in the same Aron.
Because I know they were eventually in the tabernacle.
Right. They were in the one that B'Tzalel made.
Yeah. Until then.
Wow.
I don't know.
Not why.
Good question, but it's not from here. You wouldn't know. From here, you wouldn't know, right?
Hashem did both tablets?
Yes. Yes.
I thought Moshe did that.
Moshe, he carved out the second ones. Hashem did the first ones entirely, right? The second ones, Moshe had to carve out the sapphire stone from the side of the mountain, right? And then Hashem wrote in it. Okay, that's the difference between the first and the second. He had to provide. That's what it said. Psal l'cho. You have to hewn out, not hewn out the carving of the writing, hewn out the stone itself. And here it says, which is God is speaking to Moshe, so it's Hashem talking, right? I will inscribe on the tablets as I did in the first ones. Okay?
Have the same miraculous component as the first one, as we read before.
Seemingly it did. Yes, seemingly it did. Hashem wrote it, so it did, right?
Talking about the second one.
Yeah. Hashem wrote it. The only difference is that the second ones, the actual stone, Moshe had to, right? He had to provide it because he's the one who destroyed the first one. So therefore he had to provide the second one, right? Okay?
And you have to carve out space for the letters.
No, Hashem did.
You carved it out?
But that's what it just says here. Look at verse number 2. God is talking right now. I will inscribe on the tablets the words.
So both tablets he inscribed.
Yeah.
That's only.
But we just read the words.
Or as Moshe did the second one.
I know, but we've just explained it now. So please, everybody, be present. Okay, but we just said it. Okay, so anyway, okay. Your mind is leave any other issue in your outside of here now. Focus. Okay.
This is related to this.
Okay. All right. Number 3. Now Rashi just said, and number 3, right? He's referring to this verse. That what did Moshe do? He did the opposite of what God told him. Ve'es aren asay shitim, and I made the aren out of acacia wood. Ve'efsol, and then I carved out shnei luchos, 2 tablets, meaning that the stone itself, not the writing on the stone, but the stone itself. Avani made from stone karishanim, like the first ones. Ba'al hahara v'shnei luchos biyadi. And I went up the mountain, and 2 tablets were in my hand. So I think this is what. This is the way I understand it. And maybe we'll see a Rashi on this, but the way I understand it is like this. The first time he went up, right, God gave him the tablets, right? He came down the first time on Yud Zayin Tammuz, and he shattered them, right? Right, that was with the sin of the golden calf. The next day he went up again, right? He went up again, 40 days, 40 nights. He was praying on behalf of the people, right, not to be destroyed, and God, right, so he won't destroy them, but they weren't cleansed yet, they weren't atoned. At the end of the 40 days, which was like the
Yom Kippur.
No, not Yom Kippur. Yom Kippur was the end of the 3rd time.
First time.
Third time.
Hmm?
Yom Kippur is the 3rd time.
Third time.
Before Rosh Chodesh Elul, right? Hashem said to him what he just said. Hewn out 2 stones for me. He went back down. On the first day of Rosh Chodesh, he came back down. And then he went back up the next day. On his way up, on his way up, on the side of the mountain, he hewn the stone. He took out 2 stones, brought them up to Hashem. Hashem wrote. That's right. That's what happened. That's the timeline, at least. Okay.
I mean, we can find some sapphire in the stone in Sinai.
Because it says it was on the side of the mountain. It's not here. I think it's a part of Kisisa, if I recall correctly. Is that's where it says on the side of the mountain. We have to look. That's what we read when we read it. When we read it on a fast day, I think it's there, if I recall. Or it's in that area. It's in that area for sure. Yeah, we'd have to look over there. Okay, so he first made, then Efsol, and then he brought the 2 loches up to the mountain. Number 4, V'yichteiv, and he wrote, God. Now, you see how it switched.
Yeah.
It's interesting how it switched from verse number 2, God speaking, verse number 3, Moshe speaking, and it's a whole first person. Very interesting. Because you know why that's a little odd? Wow. You know why it's odd? Amar Hashem Eli, Hashem spoke to me, right? And so he's repeating what God is saying, Ve'echtav, and God said to me, I will write, right? In verse number 2. Now Moshe is speaking himself, and I made the ark first. That's Moshe speaking, right? And then verse number 4 is now going 3rd person, V'yichteiv ala luches michtav karishen, and he, right? Well, it's Moshe speaking first person, but speaking about now what God did, because it's not God speaking to him. That's why it's 3rd person. V'yichteiv ala luches kemichtav harishen. He wrote. Look, it says very clearly over here, right? On the tablets, like the first writing, Es Aser Sadvarim, the 10 things, the 10 statements, Asher Dibra Hashem Aleichem, that Hashem spoke to you, Bahar, on the mountain. Mitocha eish, in the midst of fire, Bayom ha'kal, and the day of gathering, V'yitnem Hashem, Eli, and Hashem gave them to me. In other words, he inscribed them. I gave them to Hashem. He inscribed them, and then he gave them back to me. Ve'efein ve'erein. And then I turned and went down, minahar, from the mountain. Ve'asim luchais, and I placed the luchais ba'arein, in the arein. This is only the second set, right? The first set, when Moshe went down, Hashem didn't tell him to build an arein, right?
Mhm.
He came down with the luchais themselves, right? There was no arein. Here, there's an arein, and he placed them into the arein, into this ark. Asher Asisi that I made, the Yusham, and they were there, Kasher Tzivani Hashem, as Hashem commanded me. Yes.
The second set of tablets that are in the ark, not the first.
Both are. But that's not a discussion here. So can we leave that off, please? We're learning Chumash and Rashi. We're not learning Torah to try to understand the whole Torah. We have to focus very anally, right? Otherwise, we learn nothing. Okay? It's a good question you're asking, but it has absolutely nothing to do with the verses we're learning over here. And then we lose focus. Then it's a mishmash, the whole thing, right? We don't want to make it a mishmash. We want to understand what we're learning. Okay?
So he made the luchot and the aron.
Yeah.
No.
But he made the aron first, right? As it says here very clearly, because he needed it in order to be able to place it, right?
He's a carver and a carpenter.
Exactly.
Wow.
Verse number 6. Uvenei Yisrael, and the Israelites, the children of Israel, Nasu, they journeyed, mi be'erais, from the wells, Bnei Yakan, that are called Bnei Yakan, Moiseira, to Moiseira, Sham Meis Aaron, there passed away Aaron, V'yikbor Sham, V'yikaver Sham, and he was buried there, V'yichayin Elazar, and V'yichayin is, it's a funny term, it means he was like installed as Kohen, right? He was installed as a Kohen, meaning the high priest, Elazar B'nai Tachtav, in his stead, in his place. Okay, Rashi in number 6. Okay, we're good?
It's a long rush.
Okay, Rashi asking a good question. What are we coming up all of a sudden with Aaron and his passing? What's that got to do at all, right, with what happened before this? Do you follow the question? Completely out of place. Why? This is happening in the first year, and this is in the 40th year. We jumped from the first year of the luchais, of the tablets, all of a sudden to the 40th year. No connection at all. I mean, openly there's no connection. That's why Rashi's asking the question, what is the continuation of speaking about Aaron? Right? Void, and furthermore, if you remember in Bamidbar, so is it really from the wells of Bnei Yaakov that they journeyed to Meseira? Isn't it that from Meseira they went to Bnei Yaakov the other way around? Shenema, as it says in the verse, Vayisu Meseira, as it says at the end in Parshas Maseh, right, in the final Torah portion of Bamidbar, it says the opposite. They journeyed from Meseira and they encamped in Bnei Yaakov. It's the opposite. Void, and furthermore, the verse says, Sham Meis Aaron, that Aaron died, Aloi Bahar Hor Meis. Didn't he die in Mount Hor? Right? He didn't die in Moiseira. So why is Moshe saying that he died in Moiseira? Follow the questions, everybody? Yeah? Go forth and calculate, and you'll find there are 8 journeys from Moiseira to Mount Hor, to the mountain where he passed away. Right? So then how can our verse say that he died in Moiseira? Why would Moshe say that? But this is, remember, from Parshas Dvarim to Parshas Eikev, these three the Torah portions, what is in one word, what are they all about? In one word. Teichacha, rebuke. That's what they're about. They're about rebuke. So this is also part of the rebuke. He switched it around, right, to rebuke them. Let's see what that means. But this is everything that's being said over here that is the overriding message from the beginning of Dvarim, right? The last 37 days of Moshe's life, he's rebuking the people. Yeah, we're good? Okay, let's follow. So, Kishemes Aron Bahar. Oh, sorry, no, sorry. So this too is part of the rebuke. So he implied, this too you did. Kishemes Aaron Bahorahar. When Aaron died in Mount Hor, let's say Farboim Shana, at the end of 40 years in the wilderness, in the desert, the Stalko, Naniakava, the clouds of glory departed. And you became frightened by the war of King Arad. And you appointed a leader that in order he should go back to Egypt. Right? This is in Parshas Chukas. Right? When after Aaron passed away in that parsha, right? You wanted to go back to Egypt because you were frightened. And you went back. You went back 8 journeys in the opposite direction from Mount Hor. Bnei Yakan to Bnei Yakan. And from there to Meseira. And there the children of the Levites battled with you, and some of you were killed, and you killed some of them. Oh, I don't remember that.
Oh, wow.
I don't remember
I
that.
never heard that.
Yeah, I don't remember that. But
Those are
that's
your brothers.
yeah. No.
Bnei Levi.
Yeah, Bnei Levi. Yeah, but I didn't know that any of the Bnei Levi were killed. No, the Bnei Levi killed. Right? They set up judgment against them when they sinned.
Israel.
When they sinned, so they made judgment on them. That's why that means they killed them.
Oh, that was in the Golden Calf.
Not no, the golden calf is this 40th year. That's in Shittim with Midjan, right?
So they said that in the Golden Calf they didn't participate.
Right. Until they put you back on the right journey. And then from my city you went back to God good. Good, and that's Hor Hagud. I mean, God good Yatvasa to Yatvasa, Meseira, and then at Meseira, Asisem Evil Kavid, you mourned deeply Al Misosa Shalara on the death of Ari. Shigar Melachem Zayis, which caused you this. It did Melachem, and it seemed to you Ki'ilo Meis Sham, as if he died there. Wow. So that's why he's saying it the opposite, because what happens is they went backwards, right? 8 journeys, because they were frightened. They were frightened. It's interesting that the Moshe allowed such a thing, like that they should go back 8 journeys like that, and they only, and it was as if he only died in whatchamacallit, from Be'erais, because there, like, they did tshuva. And because they did tshuva, now they felt the heaviness of his passing, and they mourned for him there. Before that, they were just frightened because he passed away, and the clouds that protected them wasn't there anymore, and therefore they wanted to go back. They were frightened and they wanted to go back. It's wholly interesting, the whole 8 journeys back. And I don't understand. And Moshe just went with them. That's what they wanted. How's that understood? I'm not clear on that. But that's what happened. Now, so that's what occurred. Now the question is, though, what's the question? What was Rashi's question? We had a bunch of questions. One is that he turned around, he died in Mount Or. And here he's saying that he died in Moisera. So why did he die in Moisera? Because that's when they finally did tshuva, and they did tshuva and they mourned for him there because they were frightened after he passed away, right? But we have another question. What was the question? Why is this juxtaposed to what we just spoke about the tablets? It seemingly has nothing to do with it. No. Now he's going to say it. No, till now he didn't say it. Till now he just explained why it was switched around the places where he died. The sum of Moshe Teicha Chazu. Now Rashi's going to say, right?
It says Bnei Levi. It seems like Horahar. Doesn't say that. It seems to them like it's a Horahar. Benid Melachem.
Right. Right. Because they only then did tshuva, so then it was, they only took it seriously at that moment, right? But that doesn't explain why that's juxtaposed. Now Rashi said, and Moshe juxtaposed this rebuke to the breaking of the tablets. Loimar, this is to tell us that the death of the righteous is difficult for God, right? For God to bear. As the day when the tablets were broken. This is to tell us that they are saying, let us appoint a leader in order that we should depart from God because God is being difficult. As the day in which they made the golden calf. Well, it's 2 points over here, it seems. It's 2 points, right? One is that it's difficult, the passing of the righteous, right, as breaking the tablets. And that is to let you know also that when they said, let us appoint a leader that will go back, in other words, that they're not trusting in God anymore, that's also as difficult as the day they made the golden calf. That's interesting, the double point. Interesting how you get the double point. That I'm not, okay.
One is from Hashem's point of view, when the tzaddik passed away.
Right.
And one is the misbehaving of the Jews. That's from the points of view.
Right, but
it's different
right.
angle.
Yeah, but how is it you're getting both things from the verse?
It's just comparing the two. Like,
No,
why does he bring
Rashi's not saying something for the sake of teaching us something. He's telling us something in order to understand how this is the simple meaning of the verse, right? So the fact that it's juxtaposed Aaron's death to the luchais, the breaking of, okay, that we get. Passing of a tzaddik is difficult for God, like the breaking of the luchais. So I get, you know why?
Then he's adding.
Yeah, but why? What's that got to do with the simple meaning of where's that got to do with the order of the psukim? How's that?
Has to do with the breaking of the luchot. Why? He's giving you 2 reasons.
No, that's not the question, though. The question is, why is Aaron's death juxtaposed to the breaking of the luchos?
Right. So he's saying that this is hard for Hashem.
His passing of that. Okay, that you get. But what's it got to do with the Jewish people? With the Jewish people that now they want to make a new leader? What do you mean? Also, what's it got to do with the verse, though? It's got nothing to do with the verse. How do you learn that from the verse? Why is he concluding with that? Right? How do you get that from the limud of the pasuk? It can't be that that's just a nice concept that he's teaching us. It's true. The concept is true, but it has to fit into what the verse wants to come and tell me.
Where do you see it?
I don't. That's my question. I don't see it. Because we're not speaking about the Jews that they said We're not saying, we're not speaking here about the Jew said, let us now, after his passing, let us go back to Egypt, right? Doesn't say that. So where's that point coming? Where is that indicative in the verse?
So he's saying about when it's in the pasuk. Yeah.
Right.
He says it's not sure. He's just throwing it.
No, obviously, one second. Because I have a question on Rashi, Rashi is still the truth. I don't get it. That's all.
He's just throwing it in. While
No, that we can't say that. Right.
He's just add something.
Right.
Like this question we have on Rashi, we have very often the idea that Rashi brings something that does not appear to be Pshuta Shamik.
Exactly.
And we have that question very often.
And the Rebbe answers it often. Often, I don't know here if we have to. We'll see. Let's continue. Maybe we'll have enough time. Let's continue. Okay. So we're verse 7, yeah. Okay. Misham nasu hagud goda. Omin hagud goda yatvasa eretz nachle mayim. A land that's stream of waters. That's Rashi.
I was in Yotveta. There's not much water there.
Not much, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, not much.
On the way to Elat.
But Masera sees some bone covered. Okay. But Masera sees some ovel. And in Masera, you hold on. Okay, you mourned, covered a heavy, serious mourning on the passing, on the death of Aaron. That you caused because of your treat. That only then, and it appeared to you as if he only passed away there. Okay, actually, I read this because in here it brought them together. And Moshe, he juxtaposed this rebuke, shibur haluches, the breaking of the luches, the tablets, leimar shikashim misasim shel tzadikim, to tell you that the pathing of the righteous, lifnei Kodesh Baruch Hu, bukiyim shenishtabru, boy luches is like the day that the tablets were broken, leidiacha, and to let you know, shuk shalai, leidiacha. In other words, it's in the word lohidiacha, to let you, to make known, to let you know. Because it was difficult for God that what the Yidden and the Arosh that would let us go back to Egypt. Leave fresh mimenu, to separate themselves from God. Like the day that they made the golden calf. So I can see where that's going to go. Okay, number 8. The Esahi at that time. Again, Hivdal Hashem separated as Shevet Levi, the tribe of Levi, Losisaren, to carry the ark, Bris, the ark of the covenant, Hashem. Now this is the other ark, right? Lamoid Lifnei Hashem, to stand before Hashem L'Sharsu, to serve him.
The one that worship it?
Yeah. Yeah, because that's they had that job, right? I'm pretty certain. Let's see Rashi to make certain 100%. The Shasu to serve him, and to bless in his names, until this very day. Interesting, until this very day. Number 8, but Hivdil. At that time, Hashem separated Musab le'ina Rishon. This refers to the original topic earlier in the pasuk. At that time, B'shana Rishon, let's say some Mitzrayim, the first year when they departed from Egypt. And when you erred with the golden calf. But the children of Levi, they did not err. And Hashem separated them from the rest of the Jews. And this verse is juxtaposed with the retreat of Bnei Yaakov, Loimar, to tell us that in this time when in the retreat, Bnei Levi, the children of Israel did not err, Ella, rather, they stood firm in their faith. That's why it's saying this over here.
What happened with Bnei Yaakov again?
Well, that's where they sinned, the Jewish people, by going back, right, all the way to Moseira, from Bnei Yaakov to Moseira. They went back, right, because they were afraid because they didn't have the protection of the Ananiya Kavod. So this verse has only come to tell us that at that time when this all happened, that Hashem had separated the Levites to serve Hashem, right, and they stood strong. In other words, Ada Yemazen to this very day. Levites unite. All right. That, in other words, because why is this? What's this got to do over here all of a sudden? Just to show that they were different than the rest of the people. They did not fall prey, and they had faith in God that everything would be good.
They killed the whole city.
No, that's not what it's saying here.
Levi.
Yeah. Let's say this is Aaron to carry the Ark of Levim. It refers to the Levites. That they should stand before Hashem, minister before him, and bless his name. Kohanim. That refers to the Kohanim, but it means the raising of the hands for priestly blessings. Interesting, because the tribe of the Kohanim. What tribe do they come from? Levi, right? Because Aaron was a Levi, a Levite, right? The only thing is he got a promotion to become a Kohen, but from the tribe of Levi he is, right? So that's why sometimes when you say that, the children of the Levites, it includes Aaron too, because it's from that tribe. Okay, verse number 9. Al Kain, therefore, there was not to the Levites chelek, a portion, v'nachala, an inheritance, Echav, with his brothers. Hashem hu nachalasai. Hashem is his inheritance. Kasher diber Hashem, as God spoke, Elokecha, your God, loy, to him. Translates to them, but it's to him. Rashi, therefore the Levites don't know how to share because they're separated to the altar service. They're not free to plow and to sow the field. Hashem is their inheritance. The Levites have taken prepared portion from the house of the king. Interesting how he calls it, from the house of the king. And as for me, now Moshe is speaking again about himself. Amadati Bahar, I stood on the mountain, like the first days, 40 days, Laila, and 40 nights, V'yishma Hashem, Eli, and Hashem listened to me. Gam b'pamahi, also at that time, Le'ovei Hashem Sicha, and God did not want to destroy you. Rashi number 10. I stood on the mountain. The Kabbalah is to receive the second ladder tablets. Since did not state explicitly earlier, how much time you sit on the mountain, and the last ascent, but it went back to begin with it, to let us know that it was 40 days.
If he learned on the first one, it's about him learning with Hashem.
Right.
Why does he need to learn again 40 days?
Excellent question. I'm in the middle of listening to a shir on that. In the middle. There's something about 40 that's very special. The special number. The special number. Yeah. So it's constantly being repeated here. I think it's maybe in this parsha it's repeated maybe a dozen times or something. I don't remember now. Like many times it's repeated. but I'm only in the middle. So come back. We'll bring about it on Shabbos.
Desert 40 years.
40 years. The Egel was after 40 days. Mabul was 40 days. The flood was 40 days. The eyes 40 days. Number 40 is huge. Huge. Okay. Next Rashi Kiyam Rishonim, like the first days, Shaluchas of Rishonim, like the first tablets, Ma'hem Berot, and just as they were given in goodwill. In other words, God was in a had a goodwill towards the Jews. Af Eile Berot, and these last on the last 40 days were also goodwill of them. But the middle 40 days, Shemani Shamli Spal Aleichem, and I stood there to pray for you. Because they were with anger. In other words, in the middle 40 days, God was still angry with the Jewish people.
So there was like 3 sets of 40?
Yeah, on the mountain, yeah.
Whoa.
Last verse, yeah.
40 for the truth.
Yemer Hashem, Eli, and Hashem said to me, Kum, get up, lech, go, lamasa, to journey, lifnei ha'am, before the people, yavo, and they will come, the Yishu, and they will take possession as the arts of the land, Hashem Nishbati, that I promised, Voisam to their forefathers to say, same to give to them. Rashi, Yemer Hashem, Eli, Hashem said, Af alpi shisarti me'achara, even though they turned away, Shisartem, that they turned away me'achara from before Hashem, from after Hashem to Is and Be'egel, and they made him erred with the golden calf. Amar Li, he said to me, Leich Nechei Esam, go and lead the people.
And to where the land that promised to the forefathers.
Exactement.
Why don't didn't want to accept that? Why?
They do. They just don't want to. They don't want to publicize it.
All of this.
All right, we'll see you in a few.